Test Drive with Graham Fletcher.
This week on Test Drive, we're looking at the 1988 Bonneville SSE. Now, the days of the flat tyre when you had to hobble round to the gas station and beg for air are gone, thanks to this nifty little device. It plugs into the same compressor that runs the load levelling suspension. Once hooked onto the tyre, you push a button in the trunk and Bob's your uncle. No more flat tyre. Once we've filled this one up, we're going to go to the skid pan and see how the Bonneville fares. And the first test will be to run down through the cones and find out what the suspension is made of. The Bonneville is a heavy car, and even with the upgraded suspension on the SSE, it still leans a lot when you throw it around the corners. For our second test, we're going to run the Bonneville up to 100 kilometers an hour and see how long it takes. Having driven the Bonneville before, it's always appeared quite quick, so it'll actually be nice to see what it actually runs with a clock on it. Having found out that the Bonneville will reach 100 kilometers an hour in 9.6 seconds, the all-important test now is the brakes. This car features an ABS system, so it'll be interesting to see how well it stops. And here we go. Certainly does. One of the things that you first notice when you start to drive the SSE is the amount of exhaust drone. It, I guess, is associated with the sports system which they've used to enhance the sporty aspects of the car. I'm sure some people are going to find the drone overpowering. Under the hood of the SSE is a new engine that GM have called the 3800. It is in fact a 3.8 litre V6 that's fuel injected and coupled to a 4-speed automatic overdrive transmission. A nice package, a lot of power in the engine, and the shifts are smooth from the transmission. The front seats have umpteen different adjustments, and what surprised me about it was that there was little lateral support given the sporty overtones of the SSE. As I mentioned on the skid pad, the load levelling suspension that the SSE features means that if you load the trunk up, the suspension will raise itself or pump itself up to give you a nice level, flat, smooth ride. The Bonneville nameplate has appeared on a lot of different cars over the years, but for me, this one is the most attractive by far. My pet peeve this week is to do with the dashboard, and more specifically the speedo. For some reason, GM chose to mark the different speeds in odd numbers, 70, 90, 110, etc., when most of the speed limits that you're expected to obey are even numbered, 60, 80, 100. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to the scoreboard and find out how I rated the rest of the Bonneville. The 88 SSE features anti-lock brakes, and so as usual the stops were short and predictable, and so another high 8 out of 10. In the handling department, the Bonneville is better than most large cars, but it still has a tendency to lean when you push it hard into corners. The new 3800 engine gives the Bonneville a lot of get up and go. In fact, I was quite pleasantly surprised by its pep. But you'll notice a lot of exhaust drone. It doesn't bother me, but I'm sure it will bother some people. Again, the SSE is no economy car, but given its size and performance, 25 miles per gallon is better than I expected.